Coming up, Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer is ticking off Universal Studios. Disney is ticking off Reedy Creek firefighters, and a group of teachers in Canada ticked off their students by telling them they were going to Disney World, then telling them they weren't. The kids were devastated. Not because they weren't going to Disney World, but because they had to stay in Canada. I'm kidding. I love Canada. All that plus using social media in the parks and Downtown Disney 101 coming up on this week's edition of the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 580 for the week of March 5th, 2013. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, experts in helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. One great reason to use Dreams Unlimited is because we send people where it's warm. You live where it's cold. Do you like wearing 40 pounds of clothes just to get to your car? Do you really enjoy having 20-degree winds slap you in the face like an angry drunk woman? Clearly there's something wrong with you. But in spite of that, we love you anyway. So let Dreams send you someplace warm, like Florida, or California, or the Caribbean, or for that matter, Albuquerque, anywhere. Just get away from that godforsaken weather. DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, because cold weather sucks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Diz Unplugged, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi, Kevin Close, Teresa Eccles, Kathy Whirling. Back in the production nook, our producer Dustin West, along with Craig Williams and Sean Thompson. Sorry. And I had to do that ad for Dreams because I just spent the weekend in New York. What are you people thinking? Honestly, what are you thinking? That weather was, oh my God, it was so cold. But Book of Mormon was fab.
It really was.
It was incredible.
And then big storm coming across most of the country this week, so
yeah,
you could be here.
More snow. Yay.
Really, it's warm where I live. There's something wrong with you. There was something wrong with me too at one point, but I moved here. Like I said, coming up this week, Sean Thompson is going to have his first segment. Sean's first solo segment.
I'm excited.
Oh my gosh.
Sean gets to wear long pants now.
He's going to be talking about using social media in the parks. And Teresa and Kathy have the most recent edition of their Disney 101 series, this time focusing on Downtown Disney Marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's coming up this week. In housekeeping, if you have questions or comments for the team, don't be shy. Send us an email, podcast@dizunplugged.com, or give us a call toll-free, 1-877-310-9662. We're back to doing our email voicemail shows once a month, and if we use your email or voicemail on the show, you'll get your choice of a Diz Unplugged t-shirt or a Diz Unplugged pin and lanyard, and then once a month we will choose someone at random for a shot at the almighty Prizematron. Also want to mention a number of Diz meets to raise money for Give Kids the World that are coming up. We have actually something cool. This is actually not part of our Power of 10 fundraiser, but it's still raising money for Give Kids the World, and I really don't care what form it comes in. We're all just trying to raise money for Give Kids the World. Cedar Fair theme parks are doing a Coasting for Kids fundraiser. Our folks are calling it Coaster Palooza. It's happening June 9th. Tom Bell, the host of the Disneyland edition, along with a couple of members of his team, are going to be participating at Knott's Berry Farms in Buena Park, California. And on the East Coast, some Dizzers are going to be participating at Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And you can check out the official website for the event, coastingforkids.org, or find out more about the Dizzers who are participating. There's a thread on the boards. We'll have a link to that in the show notes page, dizunplugged.com. Really, just go. If you're nearby, go. Even if just to support these guys that are going to be spending, I don't know how many hours on a roller coaster.
Even if it's covered in snow, go.
Exactly. And one of the questions was, did you have to stay on the coaster the entire time? You don't. You can come and go as you please. It's about raising money for Give Kids the World. So even if you're not going to ride a roller coaster and you want to just go and support donate some money. I think it's $25 is the minimum, and that gets you into the park. And all the proceeds going to Give Kids the World. And again, like I said, this is not part of our Power of 10 fundraiser that we've been doing for a while now, but that doesn't matter. It's raising money for Give Kids the World, and that's really all we care about. So in addition to that, excuse me, we have a New Jersey Dismeet coming up April 26th through the 28th in Bridgewater, New Jersey, also to raise money for Give Kids the World. And there's also a meet coming up in Nova Scotia, Canada, August 11th. And the Indianapolis Dismeet, the 6th annual Indianapolis Dismeet, the longest running one that's been happening, September 7th at the Hamilton County 4-H Fairgrounds in Indianapolis.
And that's a date change because it was always Labor Day weekend.
It was always
It's now
Labor Day
the
weekend.
week after that.
And which makes it easier for me. Labor Day weekend is a bad weekend for me. I am going to be there. I'm going to make the commitment now. I'm going to Indianapolis for this meet. I have missed it for 5 years, and I will not miss it this year. These guys they all put so much work into doing these. So if you're in the Indianapolis area or, a relatively close drive, September 7th, the Hamilton County 4-H Fairgrounds. If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, April 26th to the 28th in Bridgewater. And if you feel like taking your dog sled to Nova Scotia, we're going to be up there too. August 11th. And links to all of the threads about these will be on the show notes page. Again, disunplugged.com. Now, last week we started a new contest that we're going to do every so often, Where in the World? And we had a ton of entries come in. A lot of people submitted their guesses. Virtually all of you were wrong. The popular answers were Port Orleans French Quarter, which was not the case. Some people said the train station on Main Street was not the case. But if you said it was the railing above the Uptown Jewelers on Main Street, then you were correct. And that is the picture for those of you who are watching video or live right now. So we who did we select as our random winner from the correct entries?
It was
Cass P.
Yeah.
Timon on the Disboards.
And we have that right there. Timon on the Disboards.
Congratulations, Cass. You're going to get a $50 Disney gift card for guessing it correctly. We had 11 people guess it correctly.
How would they know that?
Because they're really good.
Whose voice was that? Did she say that? It didn't even sound like her.
I was thinking they were probably using, Google Street View or something. I don't know how some of these
I think
people-
one listener said that they went through our photo galleries and just looked through it until they found the picture.
Well,
Okay, that would be a smart way to do it, I guess.
It'll take a long time.
that one was a little hard. They're not always going to be that difficult. We kind of picked a tough one, and like I said, a lot of people went with Port Orleans, and I understand why. It looks like something you'd see at French Quarter, but it wasn't. It was above the Uptown Jewelers in the Magic Kingdom. I also want to send out a special hello to the Chatterati in the chat room right now.
There's a bunch of them.
Watching us live on disunplugged.com. How many do we have in the chat room now?
333.
333. Okay.
That's 9.
Wow.
9 people.
Congratulations,
Thank
Kevin.
you.
I know you've worked hard on that.
Mike goes into.
But, okay, what else do we have?
I do have something that I want to do. We don't normally do this. Do you remember back when we first started and we were so impressed that we were able to put on a podcast, and there was a young boy who was 8 and called in and said, well, he did his own podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He's now much older. His birthday was yesterday, and he's still fascinated by our podcast and his own. So I just want to wish a happy birthday to Jack Doherty. Jack was one of our first listeners, and we were so impressed with ourselves that we were doing this and getting it out there, and Jack called in and said, I'm 8, and I do this too. And we all sat there kind of deflated and thought, okay, if an 8-year-old can do it, why are we so impressed with ourselves? But he's now a teenager and still listens to our show, and I just found out his birthday was yesterday.
Awesome. Happy birthday, Jack. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, Kevin. Anything else for housekeeping?
It's Figment's birthday today. I know Pete's all excited about
Someone
that.
I love Figment. I
Someone
love
tell him
Figment.
it's
I
not real.
hate the current iteration of Journey into Imagination.
How old is he?
Epcot old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be.
He's ageless.
30?
He just
He's
never gets old.
Ageless.
He still lives with his
So he
mother,
was
too.
created for Epcot.
He was.
Yes.
All right.
Interesting.
I have housekeeping.
Okay.
That's actually real.
Okay.
About real things.
About real housekeeping, about real things. John, not saying anything about your husband or Kathy.
I'm not disparaging Kathy in the least. I have a very special announcement. This is for the folks going on our June 2013 Backstage Magic trip. This trip is sold out. This is not a commercial. This is just to let the folks on that trip know we have something very special planned for them.
Oh.
You know how every trip...
I'm one of the people going on this trip, and I have no idea what he's talking about.
I love to surprise you. You know how every trip we do Lunch with an Imagineer. Mm-hmm. We've had Marty Sklar, we've had Dave Smith come and interact with our group during a lunch. We've arranged something different and very special for your group in June. One of the things you do as a group is Adventures by Disney will give you a special viewing area of the Soundsational Parade.
Now, when he says a special area, they have taser guns and they put benches right up against the curb. And if anyone comes near you, they zap them.
Right. And it's really a choice spot, and it's a big spot, and you've got
right
benches.
on the hub.
Well, we have arranged for the two artists who designed the parade floats to join you guys. Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly will be joining your group.
They're awesome.
At Soundstational Parade. They'll be there a little early to answer questions.
3 people in the back of the room just got very, very excited.
Yeah, this makes me really happy.
Those guys.
Oh, 2. I'm sorry. That's right. We couldn't get Craig on that trip.
Oh,
Sorry.
I think it's damp back there. And so they're going to interact with everybody beforehand. They're going to tell you about the parade itself and about the floats. And they are going to
Craig,
watch.
It's his fault, Craig, because I really tried.
It's fine.
It is my fault.
I'll be here for the show.
We do need some stuff picked up in Sanford, though, if you're free.
Really?
Anytime.
So I'm really excited about that. Kevin and Jody are really great guys. We've become very good friends with them since our
they're
cruise.
sweet.
Now, if you were on the podcast cruise, they showed video and slides of the parade and the amount of detail that goes into this parade.
It's an awesome parade,
that
too.
you might not even notice as they went by.
We actually have that full video on our YouTube channel. If you go to
There you go.
WDW.info.
And so it's going to be great. I'm kind of envious. I'm not going on this trip, and I think that's kind of cool. I would love to have the detail. I would love to know the details going in.
Awesome. That's great. I didn't realize you had said that.
Yeah, we got confirmation last week from them. They're going to be happy to do it. They're fantastic guys. We're excited for you guys to have this as part of your trip. And again, this trip is sold out. This is not a commercial. You cannot get on this trip.
Even people who work for me cannot get on this trip.
That is correct.
This is not a commercial.
We are full.
Awesome.
Interesting.
Anything else?
Okay, well, if we can talk about Figment, we can talk about Grace turning 18 on Friday.
Wow.
How'd that happen?
Really?
Yeah.
Where does that go?
Fed her is the problem.
I don't know where that came from, but wow, yeah.
Happy birthday, Grace.
Not
Happy
ready for
birthday,
that.
Grace.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
18, she's legal.
That's what she keeps telling me. Now she'd
Oh,
only clean and
geez.
cook. Yeah, she'd be the perfect package. No. Yep. So anyway.
Well, happy birthday, Grace. Anything else? Going once, going twice. Johnny with the news.
All right, our first news story. Universal Orlando says Harry Potter expansion not coming in 2014. Universal Orlando is denying that a statement in Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer's State of the City address implied that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter expansion could open in 2014. Mayor Dyer is quoted as saying, "This summer, Universal Orlando Resort will open the new Transformers 3D ride, followed by the opening next year of a new resort hotel and the expansion of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter." Tom Schroeder, spokesperson for Universal Orlando, told CF News 13 that the only thing that was announced in Dyer's speech Wednesday was the previously announced expansion. In addition, the city told Orlando Business Journal Wednesday that the quote from Dyer's speech referred only to the new Cabana Bay Beach Resort, which is set to open March 31st, 2014. Yeah, I'm quoted as saying this is going to open in 2014.
Well, it's a typical politician.
But he didn't say
I'm on camera saying one thing, and then the next day I say, no, I didn't say that. There's tape. There's tape that you said it. Oh, please. I can't stand him.
It's like
I really
Harry-
can't. I can't stand Buddy Dyer.
This is Harry Potter gate is what this is. It's very weird. It's very weird that they all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's not going to open 2014. It's like strange. It's very strange. All right, our next news story. Firefighters seek state help in battles with Disney-controlled government. After another round of contract talks, the firefighters who work at Walt Disney World are turning to Tallahassee for help. Firefighters with the Reedy Creek Improvement District, the Disney-controlled public agency that provides government services across the sprawling theme park resort, they want state lawmakers to support a plan that would ultimately dilute Disney's influence in labor negotiations.
Yeah, listen to this, people. Listen to this.
Firefighters say they are trying to add some balance to a system that they say is weighted entirely in Reedy Creek management's and therefore Disney's favor. They face long odds. Disney, which says it has not taken a position on the issue, is the most influential business in Florida. Is one of the most influential businesses in Florida. The company raised more than $3.5 million in campaign contributions on state-level politicians and political groups during the 2012 elections. The firefighters' proposal is a simple one. Just a single paragraph long, it would require both the union and Reedy Creek's management to abide by recommendations made by an independent mediator when contract negotiations become stuck at impasse. Right now, both sides must turn to a mediator when contract talks stall, but the mediator's recommendations aren't binding. If either side doesn't like the decision, the dispute is ultimately resolved by Reedy Creek's 5-member board of supervisors. The firefighters say this is unfair because board members are all handpicked by Disney.
Disney set this stuff up in the late 60s, early
Right.
70s.
Look, they got Reedy Creek as a perk for bringing Disney World here. That was a deal they struck with the Florida government back in the late 60s. And that you are... And it gives them a competitive advantage. They're able to zone all their own work. They don't have to go through... That's why they were able to get MGM Studios opened before Universal opened their gates, even though Universal started well before them, because they didn't have to go through the zoning process that Universal did. They were able to just basically approve all their own stuff.
Even in a non-theme park capacity, have you ever been on Disney property when they've done construction on roads, and it seems like they get stuff done overnight? Mm-hmm. That's because they don't have the same red tape.
Well, do you remember when Orange County wasn't allowed, the police weren't allowed on Disney property? Disney had its own police force, and the saying always was no one ever died on Disney property because they wouldn't pronounce someone dead until they left Disney property.
Now, in this case, you have firefighters who just want negotiations to be balanced in a system that is stacked completely in Disney's favor. I'm partial to the issue, not because I care about Reedy Creek politics, but they're firefighters. And I'm sorry, people who put their lives on the line to fight fires, to work as police officers, they deserve at least a fair shake in terms of their negotiations. Now, if their negotiator's no good and they end up not getting what they want, that's a different story. But that's not the case here. Disney, the deck is stacked in Disney's favor, and these people deserve a fair shake, and they're not getting it. They're not getting it with Disney in this. I'm not saying Disney mistreats them or anything like that, because I don't believe that's true. I don't have any information to support that. But in this instance, with contract negotiations, it's unfair. And these guys are going to put their lives on the line to fight fires. The least they deserve is an equal voice, a fair voice in the negotiations about how they're compensated for doing that work. And I really hope, I think, the article's correct. It's the deck is stacked against them here. But I hope that someone in Tallahassee takes up their cause.
Now, when I read this, I thought, well, it's Reedy Creek, it's Disney. What are they doing? They're sitting around waiting for a call that's never going to come. Go and Google them and find their website. It's actually fascinating. They have pictures of fires that they've worked on, bus fires. There was a warehouse fire not too long ago. So these guys are actual firemen.
Yeah, they are actual firemen, and not just that, but fortunately, it's been a few years, but I think all of us, anybody who was conscious, remembers the different periods in time when wildfires were breaking out here.
There was one year I remember. I don't remember which year
There
it
was
was,
one.
but it was horrible. It was everywhere.
And yeah, it was about 6 or 7 years ago. I think it was.
A lot of it was Disney property.
And a lot of it was on Disney property. And these are the guys that address that. So these are real firefighters. These aren't Mickey Mouse firemen.
Right.
These are real, honest-to-God professional firefighters. And anybody willing to step up and put their lives on the line, I don't care where, but if you're willing to be a police officer, if you're willing to be a firefighter, if you're willing to do that kind of work, you at least deserve a fair voice in the negotiations about how you're compensated for that work. So I hope this breaks in their favor. I don't think it's going to, but I think if there's enough embarrassment publicly about how this system is stacked, that maybe Disney will ease up a little bit. But the way these board members are chosen, Disney literally gives land to people that they want to put on this board, because the board can only consist of people who are landowners in Lake Buena Vista. And so Disney gives 5-acre parcels to the people that they want to be on the board. And if the people leave Disney, they have to give back the land.
Right.
Okay? You want to talk about, I mean, so they say it's technically a democratic system. It's not democratic.
No.
It's the People's Republic of Reedy Creek.
Do you know that there's actually a town of Lake Buena Vista with, I don't know the exact number, I believe it's 10 homes.
It's like, yeah, it's like population 10, yeah.
And they don't own the property. They lease the property from Disney. And the reason why Disney did that was so that they didn't have a vote, but they also could then be public.
Well,
They weren't strictly a business property.
It's funny, this reminds me of the town that I grew up in. I grew up in a town on the Jersey Shore called Ocean Grove, which is a 1 square mile parcel of land that is owned by the Methodist Church. It's part of the Methodist Camp Meeting Association. And you don't buy the land there. You lease the land for 99 years from the church. Now, up until, I want to say the early 80s, the church basically controlled that town. There was, the church had its own police force.
There was no dancing.
There was there were no cars allowed in town on Sundays.
Oh, geez.
The blue laws were pretty strict. You were not allowed to drive a car or have a car showing on the street on Sundays, which was actually kind of nice. But eventually those laws were all struck down as unconstitutional. And Ocean Grove was forced to turn over municipal authorization to the township they technically resided in, which was Neptune Township in New Jersey. And every time I hear stuff like this, I keep thinking about that. I don't know if it's the same thing, but when you talk about, people lease the land and, private corporations that are now governments, and I don't know. But it reminds me a lot of Ocean Grove. And like I said, that got struck down by the New Jersey State Supreme Court. And I want to say it was the late 70s, early 80s.
Before we move on, can we just go back over something?
Sure.
When I said that no one ever died on Disney property, this was a while back, that Disney didn't allow any outside police force on their property.
People did, of course, die on Disney property. They did die,
but they were not declared dead until they left Disney property.
Right.
I believe this changed about the same time, the late 80s. Maybe the early 90s. I apologize, I don't remember the date. But they allowed Orange County to come in. And now you'll see Orange County setting up speed traps on certain roads and things like that. And if there's an issue, Orange County comes in as the police department.
Right.
At one time, it was only Disney Police Department, Reedy Creek's police department.
Right.
And that's why the joke was nothing bad ever happened on Disney property. And that's what they used to pretty much advertise.
They did. They put it out there. No one's ever died on Disney property. It was a technicality. No one was actually pronounced dead on Disney property, but of course people have died on Disney property. But so I'm interested to see where this goes. I want to keep an eye on this story and see what happens with it.
All right. And our final news story. Canadian teachers under fire for Disney World prank on students. A group of teachers in southwestern Ontario are under criticism after fooling grade 8 students into thinking they were heading to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida for their year-end class trip. Teachers at Roseland Public School in Windsor prepared a PowerPoint presentation, complete with pictures and video, to lead the students to believe the trip was in the works. A final slide revealed the students were really destined to head to a local bowling alley for their graduation celebration. this left them devastated. One of the adults in the room videotaped the fake presentation and the student reaction. The video was then shown to other students. Twins Max and Tira Copeland were among the students duped. Their mother, Bonnie Stewart, was one of the parents who made the incident public on Facebook. Quote, "At first I was really excited about it, but when we found out it was a joke and everything, I was kind of speechless," Tira said. "I didn't know how to react at first, but then I felt kind of depressed about it and upset." Psychologist Noreen Chevalier said she was shocked when she heard about the prank. Quote, "I consider this bullying. It's too elaborate. This joke was pre-planned. It's not a joke. This has gone beyond that because they see the teachers in an authoritarian way," Chevalier said. "To be humiliated as a group is shameful for them. Shame attacks your heart and your being. This is more than embarrassment. Shame is deeper than
Was
that."
she like throwing rose petals as she was saying this?
I think she was aligning their chakras.
Shame attacks your heart and your being.
A spokesman for the Greater Essex County School Board says teachers used, quote, "poor judgment" when they let students believe they were going on a graduation trip to Disney World. The prank evolved from one teacher's suspicion that students were rifling through his desk. The teacher planted a false brochure advertising the Florida graduation trip, he said, adding that staff allowed rumors to swirl unchecked. The presentation on the fake trip was staged several days later before the entire grade 8 population.
I don't have any problem with him putting the fake stuff in his desk and letting the rumors fly, but to make a presentation with slides and videos and stuff, then it's gone too far.
Yeah.
I think that putting the fake brochure in the desk is kind of funny. If you're going rummaging, you deserve what you get.
Exactly. Look, I think that they used poor judgment here. I know some people are saying they should be fired.
No.
I think that goes way too far. Look, we're just talking about firefighters, and while teachers may not exactly put their lives in the line, well, depending on what school district they work in, they may. But again, this is one of those professions where really smart people choose to do something for a greater good. And people that could do other things, that are smart enough and talented enough to do other things, but they choose to teach because there's a passion there and there's a love of that. And they have to deal with a lot of crap. They have to deal with a lot of crap. So this is definitely poor judgment, but I think a little bit of slack can be cut to the teachers here. I mean, I can understand the students being upset, and I think the teachers should be reprimanded. Yeah. But their careers should not be affected by it. Some people are just saying, like, fire them, bring them out back and hang them. And
this is a really good example of how the internet has changed everything.
Yeah.
You never would have heard this story.
This story never would have made the light of day, no.
It might have come to Orlando because it was about Disney World, and Orlando shows any story about Disney World, but you never would have found it anywhere. And now, because this person can post on Facebook and Twitter and make web pages, this information gets out to everybody. So
I just can't imagine. Okay, the kids are all sitting there. How many children there were? Dozens sitting there watching this presentation, and then the last slide is the Bolorama down the road. I mean,
I don't even think it was the Bolorama.
Well, whatever it was.
Now they're shamed and bitter and angry and
I wouldn't be shamed,
broken.
but I can see my kids coming home and going,
They're a big bunch
okay,
of
you're not going to believe what my
toys.
teacher did, But I don't think I'd put it. No, I'd probably put it on Facebook, but I don't know.
Teach them something, but I think it would also leave them bitter at the same
time. This is like
that's a good.
They read my diary. Okay,
they're all going to end up bitter.
They posted something, or they put something in the desk because they thought the kids were rifling through the desk, right?
Right.
Okay, it's like you're going to read my diary. I'm going to write something stupid that you're going to start a rumor about. That's kind of what that is, but.
Right, up to that point. Look,
point.
like I said, you know what? The things teachers have to deal with nowadays. I don't know. I'm going to give them a really wide berth. Every parent thinks their child is incredibly special and does nothing wrong, and you know what I'm talking about.
That they're all individuals and no two are alike. They're little snowflakes.
Oh yeah.
And anytime a teacher does anything to, upset their child, you get parents that are up in arms.
A few parents.
Okay, I'm saying generally speaking. I'm not speaking of every parent in existence on the planet.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm saying generally speaking, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
that you've got those parents who think that everything should be tailored to just their child, and their child's, every special whim and need needs to be indulged.
The problem is those parents turn the other parents into torch-wielding villagers.
Right.
They're rabble-rousers, too.
And so, teachers have to juggle a lot. Teachers, especially, I don't know how it is in Canada. I really don't. I'm assuming their education system is probably better than ours. I think Indonesia's education system is probably better than ours. But the teachers here are put under such pressure from so many different avenues that I can give them, I don't know, I can cut them some slack. There's too many people calling for these teachers to be fired, and I was reading so much of that, and I'm like, what, are you really? But what, because, granted, yeah, what they did was kind of stupid. It was stupid. But that's all it was. These children are not going to start drinking because of this. They're not going to end up on a street corner with a needle in their arm because they got led to believe for 5 minutes they were going to Disney World and it got pulled away. But then again, these are the same parents, guaranteed, who think their vacation is ruined because they couldn't get the priority seating to Cinderella's royal table. So I don't know.
We have a friend who's a very good friend who's a teacher, and things that go on in her school, actually she's an administrator, and the things that go on in her school are to much lesser than this. They're things that are out of their control, that things go wrong, and immediately they're jumped on by every parent.
Exactly.
They want people fired, they want to sue people. I think we live in a litigious society, and I also think that they're just very glad that this didn't happen in like an inner city Detroit school, because these teachers would have been cut.
And you know what else?
You know the kids would have really been upset.
Eighth grade children know how to use social media too.
Right.
And they know. All they have to do is, my kids come home and they'll say something, and I'm going, what the crap was that about? Why is that going? It gets you upset. But then you got to realize, okay, this is a child talking. Let me get the whole story and figure out what's going on, and whatever. Take them bowling.
Take them
bowling. Be happy you're going.
Really?
They didn't do anything with us when we were graduating. It was like, hey, good luck to you.
8th grade.
And then again, 8th grade graduation.
Here's a cupcake on a doily. Shut up.
Yeah, really. That my mother had to bake.
Which you can't do now.
Really?
Not in Orange County. Our Stella's anything I send to school has to be pre-wrapped from a store. It can't be homemade.
That's because they
which
want
breaks
to make sure
my heart. Which
make sure
breaks
there's not a shank in there.
Yeah, right. It's
Sieve.
horrible.
What do they call that? Shiv.
Yeah.
Shiv.
I know what you were talking about.
A shank. You're right.
A lamb shank, right? Yeah. Okay.
They want you cutting nobody.
We have our prison lingo down.
Yeah.
Because we've all done hard time.
John spent a lot of time in juvie.
I went to school in New Jersey, please. Same difference.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, thank you very much for that, John. That's going to do it for the news. We're going to move on to rapid fire. And I actually have one that just came in right before the show, so these guys didn't have a chance to prepare anything for it. Okay. But Nikki Mancini, our a moderator on the Dis Unplugged board and one of our special correspondents, let me know that Disney has just announced they will be partnering with designer Vera Bradley for a new line of bags and duffels. And they will be released this fall and will be on display at the Festival Center during the Flower and Garden Festival. Nikki's going to be putting up a blog. She's got pictures and everything. I mean, this was just literally announced like hours ago. So blog.wdwinfo.com is where you're going to find that. She'll have that up sometime later on this evening.
Well, Disney's finally, they've been knocking off Vera Bradley with their designs for a while now.
Well, I know my sister Susan is a huge, and my niece Robin are huge Vera Bradley fans, so I know this is going to make them happy. I think a lot of women are going to be.
Oh.
Are you excited at all about Vera Bradley?
No. I mean, I think it's nice, but.
Sean?
Oh, yes. I already have them pre-ordered. One of every size.
Can I borrow one?
Of course, yeah. We'll go out together to Epcot.
Okay, cool.
So, all right, John.
I have Taylor Dane to perform at Velvet Sessions. This is kind of my homage to Corey and Julie. They usually do the Velvet Sessions stuff. If you're interested in seeing Taylor Dane, she'll be at Velvet Sessions Thursday, March 28th, 2013 at 6 p.m. Prices are $29 online, $35 at the door. There's some VIP special area where they tickle you with a feather or something for 50
And
bucks.
even though we have a picture of the Hard Rock Live venue up on the screen right now, it's actually the Hard Rock Hotel. This happens in the lobby of the Hard Rock Hotel, Velvet Sessions.
Taylor
It's
Dane
really cool.
gave us 3 or 4 days of really great music one time.
Oh,
She
don't be
did in the 80s.
don't be
I love
throwing
Taylor
shade at
Dane.
Miss Taylor Dane, okay?
Throwing shade.
That woman's that woman that's a voice. If you don't know who Taylor Dane is, which you probably don't, go download some of her music. This woman's got she's a power singer.
She's great. She did the Epcot concert once for the Food and Wine, I think.
Yeah.
I went and saw her House of Blues.
If you know who she is, tell it to Pete's Heart.
Pizza.
It's one of her songs. Tell it to my
Oh,
heart.
okay.
But all right, thank you, John. Kevin.
Somebody got nominated for something at Disney World. Hang on just a second.
Oh, so glad you're interested.
I had a hard time finding one this week.
This is actually a big deal.
This is a big deal.
Not for me. Walt Disney World's signature restaurant, Vicky and Al's, has been nominated for 2 James Beard Awards. Excuse me. Chef Scott Hunnell, the head chef, has been nominated for Best Chef South, and the restaurant is in the running for Outstanding Service. Chef Hunnell said he's honored to be nominated for the award. He's just happy to be part of that group, which is the highest honor for these working in the food and beverage industry. Vicky and Al's is known for their fresh seasonal menu and excellent service.
Vicky and Al's. Sounds like a diner.
That's what folks call it.
The restaurant's going to be
Affectionately.
featured on Emerald Lagasse's new show, on the cooking channel called Emerald in Florida, or Emerald Florida. Chef Hunnell and Emerald were filmed in the Queen Victoria Room discussing the 3 dining options at the restaurant. We talk about how we source rare products, both globally and locally, and I show how to make a dish featuring both global and local ingredients. Bison and Florida oranges. This will be shown March 10th at 10 a.m. So Chef Hunnell at Vicky and Al's has been nominated for a James Beard Award, and the restaurant's been nominated.
That's a big deal. I
It's
mean,
a big deal.
the
Yeah,
James
it
Beard
is.
Award is like the Oscars.
Who won last year?
I have absolutely no idea. But I'll tell you, talk to any major chef, they'll know.
Right.
But it's nice to see a restaurant on Disney property. Teresa looks so excited.
We have Florida bison.
No, Florida oranges. The bison are for somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
You haven't seen the herds running up and down?
Yeah, out by my house. Yeah.
I'm just trying.
Did you see a couple weeks ago on 535 the cows that were loose?
No, it's 528.
528.
A herd of cows got on 528 and tied up traffic in both directions.
Really? No,
It
I
was
passed
hysterical.
some beautiful cows on my way to the Welcome Center when I drive out there.
They were running up and down
But
528
I've
last
never
week.
seen. Maybe they're bison. I don't know.
Those women don't like it when you call them cows.
And where are you passing these beautiful women on the way to the welcome?
That was on OBT.
Over there.
And their real names are Carl.
All right, going downhill fast. Kathy.
Mine is really rapid. They changed the location for where you start the Wild Africa Trek. It's now out by the Fast Pass machines at Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Or the bison roam. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm told there's bison in Land O'Lakes, Florida. So
Is that coming from the Chatterati?
It is. The Chatterati.
Land
hip-
O'Lakes, Florida.
Land O'Lakes.
Oh,
It's
that's
where the butter was invented.
Over there.
That's where they make the cheese.
So now can I drive my car through the safari? Because that's the only way I'm going to do it.
No, you have to go to Fort Lauderdale to do that. It's called Lion Country Safari.
Oh,
If you haven't done the trek, take it. It's really good.
But it's walking, right? That's where you walked across that little rickety bridge and you call him Dr. Jones and they cut the bridge.
that was racist.
That was like one of those.
That was
that from a
very
movie?
racist.
I was like, that was always one of those things when you see the movies and people are on the bridge. It's like, oh, I'd be so scared. And now it's like I've conquered that fear. I took Disney.
You went across the
protected me.
bridge.
I did the trek.
I'll watch you in a video.
It's not like you were romancing the stone, though, or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure the construction's solid on that rickety-looking bridge.
Yes, that's why I did it, because I knew that Disney would care for my safety. But
Disney would care for your safety.
But when you're up above, like when the bus is coming through or the trucks are coming through,
above you,
you're above them, and you're going across that bridge. It challenges you.
Challenge, it would. Not to totally change the subject, but what happened to Dustin's face?
What do you mean? I was trimming my beard last night,
And you slipped?
and I just went too short, and I said, I'm just going to shave it. So.
It's school picture day.
Start over.
It
It is school
You got
picture
the free
day.
comb.
I have been asked by the Chatterati where Samson is. Why didn't we bring Samson and let him show off on the podcast? Samson is with a family member, and we're hurrying through the podcast so I can go home and get him.
Samson is the newest addition to the Magi Close household. Kevin gave birth over the weekend.
You're looking well.
I think so. I'm sad to give up my pregnancy wardrobe.
Are you breastfeeding?
Oh God.
If I could, I would.
Oh my!
Kevin's walking around with a Pomeranian on his. Never mind.
Okay.
I can give you some tips.
I am very
later.
attached to this new little dog.
He's adorable. He's absolutely adorable. All right, thank you, Kathy. And Teresa.
Oh, it's my turn.
It's
Okay.
my turn.
Disney cosmetic line debuts March 1st to March 31st.
Take notes, Sean.
The new
Wanna go with the
beautifully
Vera Bradley
Disney
bag?
makeup line will feature palettes based on the colors of some of Disney's characters. For a limited time, the Wickedly Beautiful collection. The Wickedly Beautiful collection.
Didn't they try this with paint too?
I don't know. Will be available in a seasonal array of lip glosses, eyeshadow, and nail polish, pitting good against evil. The collection features interpretations of Snow White, Cinderella, Ariel, Aurora, and all the evil people, Ursula, all them stuff. We saw this.
Mhm.
Did we not see
We
this
did.
yesterday? It was pretty. It was colorful. It's limited though, right?
Yes.
So
And they
get
had,
it while you
magic.
can.
and they had
It's
no
limited time
testers.
magic. There's only 4 things. Don't worry about it.
No testers, and the brochures that they had really didn't say anything.
Yeah, they had. We picked up a brochure and it had no information in it, so it was just kind of
It
pictures.
was
and,
weird.
But anyway, it's pretty. It's glossy. It's
Could you get a makeover like in the mall?
no, it's just sitting there in trendy, wasn't it? That's where we
Mhm.
saw it. Yeah, it's cool, pretty. Go get it while you can. I'm done.
Thank you, Teresa. Dustin.
Okay, well, earlier in January, the Disney Parks blog ran a contest for the readers to choose artwork for 2014's limited time special merchandise that they're going to use for the theme parks, and a winner has been chosen recently, and it's you can see it here. Hopefully we'll be able to get a picture for it on the show notes too, but the readers of the Disney Park blog were able to choose this logo. It's going to be on limited time merchandise, limited available merchandise in 2014 for both Disney World and Disneyland theme parks.
I have to say they really stacked the deck with this because the other 2 options were awful.
Or like
Really?
a kid stick figures,
Yeah,
and
it
one
looked
was
like
a
clip
paw
art.
print.
Yeah.
And this
Clip
was
art.
this is actually beautiful. But
It's
you can
cute.
bring that
I
up
love it.
again.
Yeah.
It has a very retro feel
Very
to it.
retro,
does.
but it's
But
colorful.
Disneyland's going to have one too with the smaller.
I believe it.
Castle?
Okay, don't
Had
look at
to go
Teresa. No,
there.
don't make eye contact with her.
From what I
They're
understand,
going to shun her.
From what I understand,
I'm
it's
tweeting
the
about
same.
this.
It's the same one for both parks.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah.
It does nothing for me.
Really, I think it's cute. It's
It does
colorful. It just needs a little sparkle, but it's
One of the
pretty.
Chatterati has mentioned that it has a very Mary Blair feel to
It
it.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
it.
that's why
I
we
like
like
it.
it.
They actually released, Disney did, they put out a YouTube video whenever they announced that it was the winner, and they specifically said that it is Mary Blair inspired.
Oh, that's good. Let's look at it one more time. Yeah, I can see that.
Let's review.
Okay.
It's colorful. It's got all
I'll
the
give it
color
points
and
then for that.
the little bursts of, things around the castle. It's pretty.
A little burst of
2014.
jazz hands, apparently.
It's nice. I like it.
Were they little bursts?
They are.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm now bored.
Put something shiny up on the picture. You
Yeah,
think
really.
Teresa's not going to be distracted?
There's make-believe fireworks. Teresa's enamored. Thank you, Dustin. Sean.
All right, so this year marks the 50th anniversary of the Enchanted Tiki Room at Disneyland, and they're hosting an event in the end of June, and it costs $85 for a ticket, and basically it just buys you access to buy more merchandise.
When in June?
It's a merch-
Wow.
June 28th through the 29th, so just 2 days.
No, we're not here.
And then they have
Shag is going to be there signing stuff.
they have an extra add-on.
Wait, I
For-
stepped on Sean's rapid fire.
Yeah, there's a $185 add-on in addition to the $85, and then you get to have cocktails with Shag.
Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
that would be kind of cool.
But the merchandise looks pretty good. Actually, Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly did a few pieces.
Oh, okay.
So-
Then I'm
This
impressed.
is not new for Disney. Disney has done merchandise events for many, many years, and it's basically the same concept. You pay money to get in to buy more
When
stuff.
do the tickets go on sale? Or are they already on sale? Oh, Sean's not prepared.
Not for this.
Mr. Social Media.
I actually don't know.
And
I
while
will
he
find
looks
out, but
this up,
I believe they go on sale. I want to say April. I read the whole thing, but I apologize. I don't remember.
He read the whole thing.
I was prepared.
April 2nd at 11 a.m.
Awesome.
Very
I
good.
read the whole thing.
And also, I wanted to add to that was that a lot of times the stuff that they sell doesn't always sell out. So it's available to
It
the
ends up
general
at Company D.
or it becomes put out in the parks after the event. So if you're there, you might be able to buy it.
How many years? 50 years? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's 50 years.
50 years. Wow. Just about as old as me.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Craig.
Okay, mine is that this year at the Flower and Garden Festival that starts tomorrow, they actually have a Monsters University topiary. Right now, or whenever I went there, it was just Mike, but Sean informed me this morning that there's actually a Sully one there too now. So, but just in general for Flower and Garden, it looks like they're actually changing some things up this year. They're kind of diversing where they're putting all the topiaries, so it's not the same boring locations every year. I might be. But no, it looks awesome. I'm really excited to see everything else that they put out in the past couple of days, besides the sneak peeks that they already put up. And then just on another related note with Monsters University, has anyone seen the website that they put out for it yet?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks so awesome. I just had to say it.
Okay.
I don't know why, but
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, the
I
movie's
love
going to be
Mike.
good.
Yeah.
I wonder, a new topiary makes news now at Flower and Garden because they're not regurgitating like all the same ones.
There's
they did
quite a
last
few
year.
new things.
I don't think
It
we
looks
can give
good.
them
Wizard of
credit
Oz,
for.
too.
Well, we'll
uh,
see. We'll see.
I don't think we should give them credit for that Mike topiary.
It's a ball.
It's a ball. It's a sphere.
Oh, let's see if
It's
that-
not like this. They started this 30 years ago. It's a ball.
Let's look at it again.
And they painted an eyeball on it.
Let's look.
But when we did that backstage magic tour and we saw how they build the topiaries, there's a lot of science
Behind
goes
that
into
ball.
There is. And if
There
it was
is,
Mary
right.
Poppins and Bert coming up out of a chimney, I might be more impressed. This is the ball.
Yeah.
But he's so cute.
It's a cute ball, but it's not,
Oh, there are. If we weren't live, there are so many places I could go right now. There is just so many places I could go.
Yeah, I just want to mention, if you're not on Twitter, definitely look at Pete's tweets lately.
Wait, where's my phone?
Yeah, I think everyone at the table should be watching.
Can we look to
looking at
see
them
what
too.
he's doing?
I'm talking about you behind your
Yeah,
back.
there's.
Are you?
Oh, I didn't know that was allowed.
Wait, how do you?
Pete was raised right. He talks about you behind your back.
Well, I'm sitting right here.
I bet there.
See, I wouldn't know because I don't follow Pete.
You don't?
I don't.
Wow.
I only follow Kevin, so I know how many people he has following him.
More than you.
Oh, did you finally pass him?
Smart people too.
Like
These are
2
smart,
people.
pretty people. Who I'm going to put in my will.
All right. Well, that is going to do it as they all go to Twitter.
Oh, Kathy.
Oh, I gotta find where it's
Read
at.
the one he said about Kathy.
No.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Kathy was getting all Disney. So Kathy's gay.
it's kind of true,
Oh,
actually.
we know that.
Yesterday, she was one of my moms, along
Yes.
with Teresa.
We had a backstory, okay?
Oh, so
Craig?
Craig has 2 moms.
Yes,
Yes.
I
Well,
do now.
we
Yes.
were sitting
Well,
there
there's a
waiting
book
for
about
There's
that.
a book written about you.
We were sitting there waiting for him, and I'm thinking people are going to think we're so weird. Here's this young guy filming us in the park, so we gave it a backstory for our
Wasn't
own.
there a movie with Annette Bening about this too?
There was.
Craig has 2 moms.
Yep.
All right, that is going to do it for Rapid Fire. To close out the show this week, we started this last month. We're going to keep doing it every month, where we list off the top 10 threads on disboards.com for the previous month. And the number 1 thread gets a special designation, and then at the end of the year, the thread of the year gets a really fabulous prize. I forgot what I said the prize was. I got to go back and listen. So it was like $500 gift card or something, right?
You get to have Teresa and Kathy as your mommies.
Hey,
I don't know.
So,
that's an awesome thing.
all right, the number 10 thread on the boards this month from Theme Parks, Attractions, and Strategies, Limited Time Magic, just a huge disappointment. This thread is absolutely full of people who think Limited Time Magic is, in their words, the worst promotion ever. that it's just very disappointing. Apparently, people are just really.
I think it's really dumb.
Really?
Oh look, they've wrapped the forks in plastic. Oh look, it's limited time magic.
It's
It's just dumb.
it's simple, and
It's-
that's what makes it fun.
Okay, when
I
I
don't
grew
even
up,
know that
simple
I
and
would-
dumb meant the same thing.
I've been disappointed.
Have you?
Yes. I mean, I was looking
And
forward to
this is Lady Pixie Dust over here.
Yes, yes.
Is disappointing.
Really?
I mean, I've gone to see some of them. I saw the Dapper Dans.
Okay, that was stupid.
No, that was that one. I
They
thought was
put
cool.
that dirty snow outside of Canada, and everybody
Yes.
oohed and awed. It
The
was
snow
like,
was okay. The Dapper, you like that one?
No, I like them because it was like Disney did something a little bit different.
Oh, that
But
one
now
embarrassed me.
The new one is the trolley show, and what they did is they put their spring outfits on, which they normally do anyway.
Well, they did it early.
and
It's magical.
they didn't add any shows. They didn't do anything.
it's dumb.
It is.
It's simple.
So apparently most of the people at the table agree with the people on the theme parks board. That's the number 10 thread. Number 9, looks like my family's November vacation is ruined.
Oh, no.
A teacher had planned to take her family to Walt Disney World during a week-long break in early November, and the school superintendent just decided to change the week they were off to Thanksgiving week. So,
Oh, she ought to hook up
jeez.
with those kids in Canada.
yeah, really.
Wow.
Number 8. Now, this comment really takes the cake. The daughter of a Dizzer did a class presentation on going to Walt Disney World, and the teacher proceeded to tell her that he plans to stay off-site and save on parking by walking to the parks.
Good luck.
We've all run into them. Number 7, my only 3 disappointments from our recent trip. Somebody just feeding back about some of the things they noticed that were disappointing to them during the trip. I'll let you read it. Number 6, the thread that inspired our segment on personalizing your cruise stateroom door, stateroom Mickey ears and then some on our cruise board. Number 5, just back. Quick tip for those going soon. This is the thread I referenced on, I believe it was last week's show about the crowds coming in. Number 4, what others rave about that you just don't get.
Limited time magic.
We talk about this stuff. We talk about this stuff all the time about these places that everybody is just so crazy. They have to do it. They have to do it. And then, we start questioning why. Le Cellier is a great example of one that we bring up all the time.
And years ago, it was that stupid donut at Norway. Oh, you had to go get the
Beaver
school.
Tails.
Well, no, it was
That's
like
Canada.
school donuts or something like
School
that.
bread.
School bread.
Yeah.
bread.
It's a donut. It's a donut.
Oh, it's
just
fantastic.
A donut. Oh, it's a donut.
No, it's delicious.
No, the boys in Norway are delicious. They're so cute.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow. I need a cougar sound effect
Meow.
for this.
They're adorable.
Craig's two mommies are changing.
Great. Okay, no, I'm not going to go there. They are changing, but not the right
True.
way.
It's hot in here.
In the way that requires being fanned a lot. And terrible mood swings. Number 3, I'm never going back. This is actually a really cool thread. This was a statement from a Dizzer's friend that she's never going back to Disney World because the lines and the crowds and this, that, and the other thing. And, the Dizzer had given her advice about do this, and she didn't listen to any of the advice and ends up...
My response is good. You're probably one of those people who stopped in the walkway anyway. Stay home.
Number 2, never again in February. And again, this is about crowds, the crowds that people have been experiencing this year. And our number 1 thread for the 2nd month in a row, Disney College Program Frump Style. This is an ongoing report of a young lady who is doing the Disney College Program and just kind of talking about her experiences and sharing it. When I tell you this has a massive following, when I tell you this is the number 1 thread by a mile, the closest thread has a quarter of the traffic this thread has. And to those who are wondering how I'm picking these based on analytics, based on our analytics, the number of views that a particular thread gets. And this thread is far and away the number 1 thread on the boards. 2 months running now, January and February, both. So Disney College Program from Style takes it again for the month of February, our #1 thread on disboards.com. And that will do it for this episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. For those watching us live, stay tuned. Our next segment will be Sean and social media in the parks. And we thank you for being with us. We'll see you again next time. Take care. And stay out of the dim lights.